Well, hello everybody. I'm still trying to get set up here, just running a little bit behind. So forgive me. Hi, Lisa. Don't mind me, I'm still trying to get set up. I'm running behind. So, I'm wearing my Yarn Chicken Champ shirt, and I feel like I need to go change my shirt because I just lost it Yarn Chicken. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Nancy. And hi, the other Nancy. Hi, Barbara, Tracy, Jill, Napoli. Yeah, I was making... Hi, Deanna. I was making Shannon's mousse, and I had 3.5 rounds left to go on the body. Go to get my other skein of yarn, and it was not chocolate, it was espresso. Big difference in colors. Big difference. So I frogged it. Melvin is gonna be Mabel now. Hi, Carol. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Amy. Laura. The Empty Spool. Hello. So I'm still working on the sweater. I did not do any more than I had finished on Monday, because this is a live and market project. You know, something easier for me to work on while I'm doing the live or at market. Hi, Karen. It's already morning in Australia. I'm just looking at this pattern to see how many more rounds I have to go. Shannon is messaging our little group chat, so she must be looking for testers for something. I'll have to check later. See, hi, Deborah. Hi, Diane from Indiana. Let's see, what page should I be on? Seems like it should be this one. They're just pictures. Do you have any luck selling candy corn themed plushies? I have never taken a candy corn theme plushie to market, so I cannot answer that. Did I skip over something? Hi, Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Connie. All right. Ah, here we go. This is the page I need. So, it's the 4th set of numbers. So I should have 19 rows. Let's see how many rounds, rows, whatever that I have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I have 2 more rounds to go, and the main part of the sleeve is done. Hi, Karen. You're just down the road from me. Hi, Mary. Mary said she sold a bunch of candy corn last year. Hi, Mary Jo, Laura. You made a baby hexagon cardie. Happy with how it turned out, so going to make one for your 4-year-old. Well, I'm sure that is going to go a lot quicker than this is going for me. Oh, this isn't even a full round. Bummer. So I have like 2.5 rounds to go. Hi, Nina and Melody. So yeah, I haven't been, you have your first market October 25th. The organizers want us to have candy for trick or treat. How do you handle kids with sticky fingers? Bring some baby wipes with you. I always have baby wipes. And if I see them eating it, first I tell them they can't touch it while they're eating candy. Then I give them a baby wipe to clean their hands with. Hi, Brooke. Hi, Debbie. So, what was I going to say? I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh, that the 4-year-old cardigan, a hexie cardi for a 4-year-old would certainly be a lot faster than the one I'm making. This could take a while since I'm only doing it on Friday nights, pretty much. I guess Mondays too now, since Heather and I are going to be doing the joint lives together. So, speaking of Heather, where is she at? She's in that chat with Shannon, I bet. Hi, AJ. How are you? Most parents are good about stopping them. Some let them push stuff off shelves. Well, I think that depends on the market. The one regular market that I have, the kids just run around without their parents, so I have to play babysitter when they're at my booth and make sure, or try to make sure, they aren't causing any issues. That didn't work out so well last week because that little boy came up behind the shelves, where not inside the booth, but on the outside of the booth behind, and just pushed the stuff forward. We didn't know he was there until things started hitting the ground. So you have a market tomorrow, Karen? Well, good luck. It'll be worth it. If nothing else, it's practice. It's always worth it. Oh yeah, there's people missing. Definitely people missing. They'll be here. They'll be here. You know, I didn't advertise that I was going live. The only way you would have known is if you watched all the way to the end of my video on Wednesday, or you got notification when I hit go live. Let's see, it's a new market. It's a new market. Well, just go in expecting the worst and hope for the best, I guess. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Absolutely, Tracy. Absolutely. See, I haven't been getting stuff done that I'm supposed to be doing. Yesterday, I worked on kind of a big project. Took most of the day. And then, of course, today, I decided to pick another kind of bigger project. And because I ran out of yarn, it's taking a lot longer than it should have. Did you happen to get my email the other day? I'm not sure, Carrie. I got a couple of emails. One telling me that Hobby Lobby is selling felt eyes now. Was that it? Yep, that was it. Yep. I don't live actually close to a Hobby Lobby. It's like a 45-minute drive for me, but the next time I head down that way, I'll go check them out. But that is good information to have if you need felt eyes in a pinch and they have them. That is good to know. You did the Tractor Supply Free Market last week, and it was a great way to test a new setup. And sales weren't bad. Had time to make chicken nuggets too. Well, that's good. Hi, Dawn. Yeah, there's a Tractor Supply not far from where I live, but I'm not sure. I mean, do all of them participate in that when they do it? Hello from Tennessee. Hi, Anita. They are small 20-pack for $6. How small is small? I heard some do and some don't. Okay. So you just kind of have to, when they advertise it, just, do they say the locations? You know, I think they should all do it. If they have big enough parking lots. Now I'm kind of getting worried if I'm going to have enough yarn for this sweater. I'm almost done with this second skein. I have this much left, and I'm still on the first sleeve, and I think I have 4 more. I hope it's enough. You're not good at making multiples of the same thing. How important is it to have a zillion of one thing? You know me, I have a ton of one-offs. There's certain things that I have that I make sure I have plenty of, like Myrtle the Turtle, Chicks and Eggs, the little snakes, the rubber ducks. There's very few that I sit there and make dozens. I don't even do dozens that I make a bunch of multiples of. They didn't do a good job with promo. It was basically the people that were shopping that day. That's typical. Hello, Crochet on the Kusa. Yeah, I always have a lot of one-offs. That's what keeps it interesting for me, is being able to make all the different things. When I have a pattern that I like, I then make multiples. Yes, but not too many, because then you'll end up not liking it anymore. How are you doing? I am doing okay, considering I lost a yarn chicken today. Not happy about that. The basic black and white felt are 18 millimeter size, 20 for $1.79. That's actually pretty good. And they're just black and white. Okay. That's actually, I think, pretty good, because those eyes can be expensive. Hi, Donna. Mary, do you have a Hobby Lobby near you? They have the felt eyes. That's a good price. Any sugar skulls or the dogs? I have not made any more sugar skulls. I got one pug done. 10 of each small item for Comic-Con, and so over it. I can understand that. Mary, you'll have to check out those felt dies. You know, they're 18 millimeters, so they're not super tiny, but they're not super huge, and they would fit a lot of the smaller items. They have 4 or 5 different kinds. That's good. Well, I'm not exactly a Hobby Lobby fan either, but when it's the only game in town, you don't have a lot of choices. So there's always that to think about. Okay, I just had to get through that corner. Remember you saying you wanted to get them done. Yes, I do want to get them done, but I don't have a market till next Friday, so I still have time. I do still have time. And there were just some other things that I just had to try. I also want to make another gargoyle, but I don't have the right color. So I'm going to have to break down and take a drive. I don't want to. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that was, I was on round 18. It wasn't finished, and that's why I was counting 17 where I was at. So I only have one more round. Yay. Yay. Let's see. I don't think any of us really know how much stock to have. I take a bunch. What am I making? I am working on a hexie cardigan. I'm using Passionate Kelsey's pattern. Hi, Jane from the UK. You were at Michael's today? Hi, Jansky. He broke down and ordered some Elise Voluto. You know, I just don't have any more room. I need a bigger house to contain all the different types of yarn with all the different color selections. An orange gargoyle? I don't think I have. Ooh, yes I do. I do have a color that might work for that. Is there tariffs on Elise? I do not know. Anyone have a problem with theft? If I do, I am unaware of it. I try to watch them like a hawk, but it's not always that easy. Usually when I think something's missing because it's not where I set it up at on the table, I find it somewhere else. Never really know what people want to buy on any given day. You got that right. Elise had free delivery over 100, just got 59 skeins. But did they charge you a tariff or whatever it's called? Hi, Diana. I did not see any tariff charge when I placed the order. We'll see when it arrives. See, I don't know how that works. I don't know if it'll show up on your, while you're ordering it to pay for it then, or is it going to be a separate charge when it arrives here in the States? I have no idea how that works. See, they added the tariff onto the single skein price. No additional tariff charge. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So what is the new price of it? Because it was $2.99 if I'm not mistaken. Hi, Wendy from Australia. Hi, Robin. No tariff. Not on sale, it's $3.50. Okay. I don't know. Hi, Paula. Maybe placing an order, yeah. You just ordered yesterday? Hobby Shoppy was $3.50. I think it'd be a separate charge when we get it. Well, when do you guys know, let me know, because I need to order eyes. I have got to order some eyes. I am like scraping the bottom of the barrel on the eyes that I have. And I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and I should have done it a long time ago. But what I heard was we used to be able to order like $800 and not have to pay any of the tariffs, and that's gone away. But if you keep it under $100, you don't have to pay a tariff. So it's one of those things where you'll have to weigh, is it cheaper to pay the shipping or is it cheaper to pay the tariff, to decide which way to go with that, I think. You bought it $2.90 just before the 15% tariff. You just got your parfait order in the mail, free shipping. Yep. But they don't have the kind of yarn that I want to use for the gargoyle. Technically, it's Bernat dappled, but I want to feel it before I buy Bernat, because sometimes, even though you've used that particular color before, when you get it, it feels awful. And yeah, I'm not into wanting to tear up my hands. So that stuff, I have to feel it first. Even some of the chenille brights have been coming in kind of thick and stiff. A week, that's pretty good. Elise Valido worked out to $3.34 per skein. So you guys are way ahead of me on this game, because it's not something that I usually order. Takes a week or less. So you watched a YouTube channel from Canada, and she's about to have a launch of her products, and she was saying that she can't post anything to the USA at the moment, and 85% of her customers are from the USA. That is horrible. There's so many. Well, the last I heard, when they were listing it off, there were 20 different countries that wouldn't ship to us because of this mess that's going on. So, I don't know. Not a whole lot we can do about it. At the moment, anyways. I am doing good. Thank you for asking. Good day, Crochet. In Australia, we can only post to the USA if the total value is under 150 before tariffs are applied. So it's not a total ban now, because at first it was going to be a total ban. You've got to get the frilly, the lizard pattern by Crochet with Haley. I don't know. These tariffs are really awful. They're awful for everybody. The businesses, the consumer, everybody. Everybody suffers with this one. Just got back from taking care of my sister. She had to have a kidney stone surgically removed, so everyone drink water. I need to drink more water. That is for sure. Don't forget your thumbs up, our friends here. Yes. What is on the hook tonight? The same sweater. The same sweater I've been working on. Oh yes, definitely. When I still had my button shop, I stopped doing international shipping because it was just the price for me to ship a set of 20 buttons was more than the cost of the actual buttons that the people were buying. It was ridiculous. And so many people complained, and I have no control over it. So I just said, I won't ship international anymore. You know, now if somebody reached out and asked me for if I would set up a special listing for them. But as a rule, I was just like, it's not worth the grief. And Australia was the absolute most expensive place to ship to. You've made 4 of these hexie cardigans? That's cool. How did it work out size-wise? Like, if she says you're making a large, does it actually come out to like a large size? Which, you know, that's not a fair question because everybody has different tensions, so it's not really fair. It has always been ridiculous for postage from the U.S. We are still doing international postage, but keeping under 150. Just sent a parcel to Germany, and the postage was 80. Ouch. I had somebody at the post office, now, whether they were like trying to pull my leg or not, I don't know. But the way they explained it to me was the U.S. has their rate that they charge to get it to whatever point, and then the receiving country has the rate that they charge to get it out to the customer. So you have 2 separate postage charges. So it's not one particular country that is making it expensive. It's both, the sending and the connecting or receiving. So whether or not that's true, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but that's what I was told. Very hard when you're limited for choice of yarn. Oh, I bet. I'm here. And because there's no freaking stores around me, I'm very limited as well. I have to order online. And I would very much rather feel the yarn before I buy it. Did you see Cozy Buckeye's video today? So many adorable Halloween plushies. I did not get a chance to watch it. I'm behind on videos. I will admit it. I have been watching Netflix. Only because I'm sick of seeing all the news stuff that comes up on my feed and don't even want to see the thumbnails or the headlines. So I've been kind of like shying away from that. Because usually most of my day is spent watching everything on YouTube. So I'll get to binge a bunch of them over the weekend to get caught up. Was on Caesar and Kelsey's live. Hi, Debbie. And that sounds like a cool book. I don't know what book we're talking about, but okay. No hard patterns. Which book are we talking about? Unicorns and Dragons. Okay. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Kathy. Let's see, it's going to make you want to buy more patterns. Yeah, I don't need anybody to push me on that one. I just kind of like do that instinctively. The way Wesley Chapel is growing, you and Sue should get more stores in between you both. Maybe. I'm still a good 45 minutes from Wesley Chapel. Hi, Ida. You know what? We always say that we're on a pattern buying ban or we're on a yarn buying ban. It never lasts very long. You might make it a day or so. Do we need to do a wellness check on Heather? I have a feeling she's on Instagram in a chat with Shannon. Now, I haven't seen any messages pop up on my phone, but they go so quick I can't tell what they are and what they aren't. I see every time I watch your videos, I end up with more patterns. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, Amazon has eyes, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck with the sinker eyes from Amazon. The backs have been breaking on me. You want more furry yarn? Now, that's one thing I'll say. Hobby Lobby's fur yarn, Fur the Moment, I think it's called, is actually pretty good. I do like that one. But, you know, they've reduced their yarn section just like everyone else. Now, I have not been to one since Joann closed, so I don't know if they've increased. I know my Walmart hasn't. They have not picked up 1 inch of space for yarn. What? That's mean. Don't do a knotting hook ban. That's terrible. When you talk about the safety eye backs on the sinker eyes, do you mean the rounded ones? I have had issues with both types. Let's see. Do I have any out here? Or are they all in the bag? I think they're all in a bag. Hang on. Okay, so there's 2 different types. There is this kind, and this is the kind that I think Heather was showing me that she just got, or that she gets from AliExpress. This is for the 22 millimeter eye. I can't get the back to go on with the yarn, but see how the eye does just like, it really doesn't. So they may have given me the wrong size back. The ones that are splitting on me are like this. It's just kind of a dome. These are the ones that split on me. So what I've been doing, and I'm almost out of the eye itself on the 22 millimeter, is using the 25 millimeter back, which is even more, you know, it's different from those. It's got those little slits in it, but it allows for space between the eye and the back. for the yarn because, you know, the eye actually fits inside the cap. And then to use the 25mm eyes, I've been using my 30mm backs, which I am now almost out of. And these I like. They look like this. So they're all different. And usually what happens is when they show the picture, you're not getting the same thing they're showing a picture of. You know, you think you might be getting this kind, but you end up getting that dome, and the dome splits. So I don't know what to think about that. Okay. Stay. All right. You bought the stitch pattern because of watching my channel. That's a lot of color changes, but it turns out really cool in the end. Oh, let's see. Labubu with the furry yarn. I don't know that I would want to do a whole plushie out of furry yarn. I would not be able to see my stitches. Hobby Lobby has not increased their yarn? Of course not. See, I looked everywhere for the flatter eye backs because I'm going to start painting eyes. I wanted to stay away from the backs you don't like. I would try AliExpress. And they're not really flat, but like the 30mm eye, this one, that came from AliExpress. But I've only ever ordered from them one time, and they sent me these good ones. Let's see. You ordered the backs and only the back from Temu. Well, when you want to order the backs, what do you use for a search term? And do they do only one size? And are they not the dome? Those have split on me also after a few months of being in the plushie. Yes. Yeah, they don't necessarily split when you're putting them on. It'll be like a couple days later, week or so later, or it's been going to market with you for several markets, and all of a sudden you notice one of the eyes is popping out. What colors and type of yarn did you use for the Snuggle Beans dragon behind you? That is Rust from Chenille Brights and Cappuccino. It's Bernat Cappuccino. I can't remember if it's Dappled or one of the other lines, but the color was Cappuccino. See Hobby Lobby Furry. So we could order safety eye backs only on Temu. Do you glue the backs on the eyes? Well, I've had people tell me I should do that. But if I use hot glue, I burn the crap out of my fingers. And if I use E6000, I just make a big mess. So usually the only time that I'll add glue is if I'm having to use, like for one of the chicks and the eggs where you use a smaller eye for the thicker yarn. Those I'll put a little glue on and burn my fingers. TOAOB eyes, hard plastic backs. I want to write that down. Okay. See, you've seen someone take a square of felt and glue it in place with Gorilla Glue on the inside of the project before putting on the back on. I think that is more for when the eye and the back, the whole thing just comes out. I mean, I've had that happen. And that's usually when you're using a small eye with the really big yarn. because it doesn't have anything to grab onto. How do you crochet that without looking at it? This? Well, because it's just a granny stitch, it's easy to do. You feel where the next place goes, and it's just a double crochet. So this, a plushie? No way. I have to look. But this I can do without looking. Let's see. I've also had issues with Amazon sending random backs every time I buy eyes. The dome backs are the worst. Yes, yes, I agree 100%. I now glue on top of the domes. You're making clay bead bracelets, $5. The fabric fusion glue is neater than E6000. I don't know, man. I make a mess. I am not neat with glue. Let's see. I have found the eyes pop when too tight. I only click once while placing them into the plushie. Well, that kind of makes sense too. I use 1-inch felt circle behind the eyes for any plushie. You just found some on Amazon as well. I searched sinker eye backs and got one called PH Panda Hall, 140 pieces, 10 sizes. Okay, you ordered some eyes from Cockeyed Creations. You screw the backs on instead of snap it on. Well, that's interesting. I would like to try that. And then if you made a mistake, you could take it out without damaging it. Can you show us how far? I am still on the first sleeve. That is how far. Let me fold it. I can do this without pulling my stitch out. Here we go. So I have one more round, and then I think I get to do something different to it. So you ordered some, yep, okay. Can you show us how, yep, did that. They're nice eyes. I want to try some. I need to write that down. Cockeyed Creations. Okay. Yeah, this color gray is called, what is it called? Great Smoky Mountains. And it's Lion Brand Heartland yarn. They are easy to start, even harder to finish. So yeah, I have one really deep drawer around here somewhere that's got whips in it that I haven't finished. And usually it's because I have to put it down for whatever reason, and when I go back, I can't remember what size hook I was using. How many of you can relate to that one? That's a good idea, taking a picture. Or they have the stitch markers now that say like what size hook it is, and you attach that to it. But you know, After it's too late, we always think of the good ideas. Yeah, I saw those that Christine was making. I do need something like that, especially if I'm going to do projects like this. Is hockey playing tonight? Could that be where Heather is? That's true, Mary. Just put a tag. You know, I started to do that earlier because I ran out of the yarn on my moose with 3.5 rounds to go, and I did that. But then I was like, gee, it could be 2 months before I do another yarn order from Premier. Could be a month, could be 2 weeks, I don't know. And then I just decided I'll frog it, and it's going to be a girl, and start it all over with the body. So it's not finished. With the hook and project, I put in, well, yeah, if you have lots of hooks the same size. She didn't respond to your text. She's just slacking. Maybe she forgot that it's Friday. She was, before I came on live, she was saying that she was showing me a completed pattern test that she did. And I was telling her that I lost at Yarn Chicken. So she's not far from home. Yeah, this one, it splits. You need a notebook and take notes. Yep, I do. I need to do a lot of things. Oh boy. You know, you always start off with good intentions, and then it just sometimes just doesn't happen. You use a magnetic pad, like the old Etch-a-Sketch. Okay. Hockey in October. I think you're right. I think she did say October. But do they have like preseason games or something that she might be watching? Katie, this is Snitches Get Stitches Yarn Chicken Champ shirt. I didn't know that Katie had a Yarn Chicken Champ shirt. You really hate pricing. How do you price one-of-a-kind stuff? Well, you have to calculate your material costs. How much time did it take you? Even sometimes the smallest things can take a long time. I try to stay away from those because, you know, size will sometimes dictate price. Like if you make this turtle and it takes you 30 minutes, and you make this chicken and egg and it takes you 30 minutes, or this chick, you can't charge the same thing for those. Even though they both took you 30 minutes, you cannot charge both. There you are, Heather. We were talking about you. So, I mean, your area has a lot to do with it. I did hear that Premiere was back in stock on Goblin. What movie were you watching, Heather? Better been a good one. Triple Nine. I don't know what that is. On Prime? I'll have to look. I finished Supernatural, and then I did the 8 episodes of Wednesday. I have to say, I think the first season was better than the second season on that one. And now I have been watching the newest version of Quantum Leap. My oldest and I, back in the late 80s, used to watch Quantum Leap. Movies are a higher priority than your life. Well, sometimes. Sometimes. I know when it's hockey time, if there's hockey during my live, the hockey will outweigh the live. But this version of Quantum Leap is actually pretty interesting. I have never watched a single episode of Downtown Abbey. Can you show me how to do the chicks? What do you mean, can I show you how to do the chicks? That is someone else's pattern, so I cannot do a tutorial. You like the new one? Well, I liked the old one, but the new one, of course, you know, special effects are so much better now than they were then. Goblin is out of stock already? Oh my goodness. No, I did not get my safety eye issue resolved. Did not. So now you are forgettable. Heather is digging a bigger hole for herself. Premier Pistachio is not bad. Oh, I just finished up using my pistachio that I had, and it was on frogs for swings. Oh my gosh, they just got it back in. How can they be out already? I bet you they have more. They just didn't update their website. Name your favorite Robert Redford movie. Yes, he recently passed. Let's see, I got talked into starting a crochet club at my school, 4th grade through 8th grade. I didn't think it would be so popular. I have 20 kids and more want to join. Does anyone have any tips? You need more than one class because that's too many at one time. Well, hi, Shannon. We're happy you finally caught one, too. See, Robert Redford, If Anything Dreamy. Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Anything Robert, Bridges of Madison County. He can put his boots anywhere. I liked, what was the name of that? Indecent Proposal? even though he wasn't like totally a main character. I would have took him up on his offer. So invite some kids that also know how to help. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Maybe some parent volunteers, parents that know how to help as well. How long does it take you to make that? To make what? The sweater that I'm making? I don't know. This is my first one. I was off work today, thought it was Saturday. I could see that happening. Totally. I don't know what day of the week it is anymore since I'm not responsible to take anybody back and forth to school, or I don't have to get up and go to a regular day job. So I have to stop and think, what is today? The Way We Were is my favorite. I would have taken him up on that proposal. Yep, I sure would have. The Last Castle. With his boots? Mary? With his boots? What if somebody else put their feet in his boots? If all you're looking at is boots, you'd never know. Sometimes you just see. For the Crochet Club, post QR codes for good tutorials and allow students to watch videos to learn to crochet. That's not a bad idea. Depending on the size of the cardigan or energy level, it takes you about 3 days to make. How many hours in those 3 days? Because this one, I would say, I probably have about 5 hours, 6 hours into it, but it's also talking, reading, chat, and all that. So, note to self, do 2 dragons back, oh, don't do 2 dragons back to back. Several hours. Yep. I do the same thing. I just sit down and I start crocheting and I just keep going. And then it's like, okay, it's bedtime. Started another dragon. Oh, so you did start the Light Fury, Heather? Hi, Colleen. Hi, Rhonda. Rhonda, I am using Passionate Kelsey's pattern. That's the cover page. I just had my yarn needle hit the floor. Don't want to step on that. You got the arms and the legs done? See, I would have done the head. No, you don't already have the head done on this one. I would have started with the head and got that out of the way. Did I find my big stitch pattern? I did find one that I could use. After like looking at a ton of them, I got him made. If you want to see what he looks like, you have to watch Wednesday's video because he's gone. The lady absolutely loved him and had no problems. Dark Winds, is that the Indian reservation with the kind of like a cop show? I think I have seen that, and it is a good one. Legs and arms are faster than the head. Well, yes. You're making a mama turtle that you might that you meant to put baby turtles in, but I will be using it to store polyfill. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I know you did the pattern test. Just as long as you're not overdoing it, Heather. We have to watch you, keep our eye on you, make sure you're behaving yourself. Almost gone. Oh my goodness. And I still have, oh, 2 more sides. This isn't gonna make 2 more sides. Yeah, so that's making me even more worried about if I'm gonna have enough. I know it's hard to be good, Heather, but you have to. She never behaves. Right, Mary? Right, right. Hi, Melinda. It's okay to be late. We are still here. You had a card session. Who made more, you or Brenda? You can make the sleeve ends in different color. Yeah, if I have a good color that will go with this. I do have in this same yarn a blue, but I'm not sure that it would look good together. Brenda made more? Because why, Heather? Heather, what is Shannon talking about in the group chat that I can't check on? I keep seeing messages pop up on my screen. A QR code, then both right and left-handed kids can participate. Yep. You were chatting more? For the 2X in Red Heart Ombre, it took me almost 3 skeins for Passionate Kelsey's cardigan. That was with a 6.5. For the whole thing? Well, these are only 251 yards per skein. I'm using a 7mm because I couldn't meet her gauge with a 6.5. So, and I'm almost done with the first, well, the main part of the first sleeve. I don't know what comes next. And I'm almost done with my second skein. So that's what? 502 yards for one sleeve. That's a lot. Oh, she locked her patterns in Canva. She had a breach last night, and people who didn't test Melvin was allowed access to the pattern. Ooh. So now she's having a hard time getting back in? How does that happen? Like somebody that was testing shared the link or something? I mean, I know she said she had a problem with that before, like the first time she used it, that some people were sharing it with other people. She's cleaning house. Oh boy, I got some reading to catch up on. Well, that's what she thought at first. So she thought somebody shared the link? Or, see, I don't know how Canva works. I find it very confusing. I don't even like when the testing is being done to leave the comments on it because I'm afraid I'm going to mess something up. Let's see. She downloaded a lot of her. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Why do people have to be like that? So annoying. I mean, especially, her patterns are really good. And she writes them very nicely. And you can tell she puts a lot of time and effort into it. And she's very reasonably priced on her patterns. So that upsets me that someone would do that, if that's what happened. You just bought Melvin and some more dragons from her. Yep, Melvin's the one I ran out of yarn on, so it's going to be Mabel. I think that's what she called the girl. Oh, you know, Rose, wouldn't surprise me. I've come across that a lot. And sometimes they actually trick me. And I just like, that is so annoying. Let's see, hope she doesn't. Let's see. I do too, Brooke. I have almost all of her patterns as well. Now, I have not made them all yet. I want to, but I just haven't got there yet. Oh, I feel like I have to sneeze. Yep, I'm definitely not going to make it down this last side. You feel like you're missing the ice cream horn in the Snuggle Dragon? Well, I think a lot of those that when they're different like that, I think they're just modifications. I'm not sure that one's actually one of her patterns. Like with these splitters, there's so many modifications. Every time I see one come across on Instagram, I favor it because I'm going to go back to it one day. That dragon back here is the last dragon I have left that I have made of hers. But I have not been taking it with me to the market. I've been saving it for, you know, when people are in the Christmas mindset because it is higher priced. And not to mention, I don't want all those kids at that market touching it. I would have to, like, spank somebody. And that would not be good. It would blow my top. And the sad part is, you know, it's not the kids' fault. It's the parents. The parents don't teach them manners. The parents aren't monitoring them, you know, whatever the case may be. But it's the parents' fault. This is it. And I have that far to go. I don't think it's going to make it. You're going to do the deer next week. The deer, Heather, I've made 3 and sold all 3. I mean, and it didn't matter if I used Parfait Chunky or if I used the chenille Brights. They sold both ways. You're working on the poo. My poo didn't look too much like poo. I didn't quite get the face right. You're trying to stay away from Etsy. What is Melvin? Melvin is a moose. He's adorable. You've made 3 cardigans and a sweater. They look pretty good. They're pricey to make with the yarn they suggested. Usually, yes. So depending on who the pattern designer is, they probably earn a commission off of it. So, you know, they use, and plus they're using the nicer yarns. It's, you know, like Red Heart Super Saver is not the nicest of yarns. I mean, if you're going to take the time to do something like that, you might as well use a good quality yarn. I think Melvin is released today. You have several skeins of Lion brand who would like to make a duster to wear. That would be nice. Please look with your eyes and not your hands. Exactly. We see with our eyes, not our hands, unless, of course, we are legally blind. And then we do literally see with our hands. But I don't think that is the case with these children. Scissors, right here. Okay. You're trying to talk yourself out. Never talk yourself out of buying more patterns. You might catch up with me one day if you keep buying them. You're working on Anchor the Octopus. Is that the mini or the real big one? I have not done the big one, but I have done the mini a couple of times. Debbie, I love this yarn. I do like working with that. And you know what? It's thicker than this. It probably wouldn't take me as many rounds. I could size down. You need a 12-step program. You market poor, but I can't stop buying yarn or patterns. You never listen to yourself? Oh boy. The big one? Oh my goodness. I'm sure it's very similar to making the mini, because the mini's pretty big. I can only imagine how big that one comes out. Quilted Cupcake, I agree. I think if you sell it one time, the pattern is paid for. The mini anchors in your whips. Yeah, well, I've made that twice. The first time, I really struggled with it. The second time, I did much better, but it took me struggling the first time to be able to do it the second time. That bug that you screamed about, Heather, is that what you vacuumed up? That's because you squished it, didn't you, Heather? You waited till you were off camera and you squished it. You're working on Pooh right now, too. Your sister-in-law is expecting in October and is doing Winnie the Pooh themed. I did that with my last one. We painted a big mural in the room. It was great. You just spent $245 on patterns and eyes on Etsy and almost $300 on yarn. I have markets coming up, though. I am going to guess that the majority of that $245 was eyes and not patterns. You found it in the hallway? You're hearing tax deductions? Yep. Heather, have you ever seen a palmetto bug? I don't think she would have been able to handle a palmetto bug. She would have left the room screaming and not just a little scream. You don't know what that is? Yep, you wouldn't have just let out that little scream. You would have got up and ran. Yep, $4 for one set of eyes is kind of steep. And then shipping on top of it, although they are like extremely nice. There are certain things that I would use those on. Like if I was making a gift for somebody and I wanted really nice eyes, I would do that. But to put in my market makes, that's too expensive. You know, like just imagine an item that you would normally sell for $20. Now you have to sell it for $28 because it cost you $4 plus shipping for the eyes that you put in it. That's just too much. Proof that God had a sense of humor. Heather, have you ever seen the movie Damnation Alley? Palmetto bugs are not for sissies. No, they are not. No, you haven't. Okay. Well, if you had seen that movie, then you would know what a palmetto bug was. Trying to think. That's an old movie, too. Worst thing you ever had in your house was a bat. Oops, nope, it's supposed to be a half double crochet. You Googled it, June bugs are worse? I don't know. The little flying roaches that get tangled in your hair are the worst. Coming home at night when I lived in Florida and trying to open the door, dive bombed. Ugh. Helicopter roaches or dive bombers. No. So much for pattern buying band. Snuggle Beans has a sale on her patterns on Etsy. Oh, gosh, no. Why are we talking about bugs again? Heather, see what you started? Okay, so we did that. All right, and then oh, see, I did the last round. Now I have to pull it out 2 sides because I'm supposed to start the row as normal, continue with the granny stitch until you have completed 4 out of the 6 sides, stopping with 1 cluster in the 5th corner. I didn't read far enough ahead, so now I just did that work for nothing. Oh my goodness. What, we always get talking about bugs? Ugh. Let's see, you've been having massive house centipedes this year? Ooh. Last year, your sister-in-law had a 6-foot black snake in her house. No, thank you. I'll pass. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, no thank you. You made that mistake the first time? Of course. I mean, I just didn't look far enough ahead. Oh, well. That's why we're supposed to pre-read it. But even if I would have pre-read this, because it took me so long to get to this point, I would have forgotten everything anyways. So, oh, pooey. Well, I'm not going to frog it right this second. I don't want to. So you're making the splitting dragon. See, I have that pattern, but I haven't made that one yet. I have done the deer, the dinosaur, the unicorn, the dog, the bear, one of the Pokemon. I got the moose on my hook. Seems like I've done something else in those splinters. The lamb, the frog. There's a bunch of them. I want to do them all. Show us my frogging technique. I just pull. Let's see. Seen your video last night about how someone said about the way you say a word. I just want to say I love your accent. There you go. Yep. Heather got joked tonight. That's because we were all picking on her because she was so late. So now she's like getting us back. Aren't you, Heather? Somebody said hello to Tracy at Travel Crochet. Did she come in? Oh, hi, Tracy. I did not see you were here. How are you? And, right, who reads ahead? We're supposed to, but we don't. Oh, my. Ouch. You're still in pain? See, I did all that complaining about not having enough yarn to finish the first sleeve with the 2 skeins. And It's because I did it too far. You did the splooting bear as Winnie the Pooh. Yep, I did it the regular bear way and the Winnie the Pooh way. Because of course, the modification came out after I did it the regular way. So I had to go back and redo it. Anyhow, well guys, since I have to frog and haven't had dinner yet, and I'm really hungry, I think we're gonna call it quits. Since I have been unlucky with my crochet today. Just happens sometimes. So if I walk away and go have some dinner, I'll feel better when I come back. Heather, be nice. The Pooh Bear modification is on Instagram, on Snuggle Beans Crochet, on her page, whatever it's called there. Well, I said I would start eating a finger or something. I wouldn't gnaw off my whole arm. Yes, I have to frog because I went too far. I was supposed to stop with 2 sides of the sweater left, and I kept going all the way to the end of the round. It's not a big deal. So I just have to take 2 sides out so that I can continue on with the arm. Okay, everyone, we will see you Sunday.